So it's been a little over a year since the first video came out, and it's incredible how transformative that single journey has been in the bigger picture of my life. I have now subsequently launched my own travel company that specializes in overlanding travel, and we work with clients of Paul's to help them plan and prepare to travel through Africa. So we look at the routes, the logistics, where to go, where not to go, how to go about it. I think I calculated the other day we've done about a cumulative 250,000 kilometers for people through Africa in their own various trucks. And I think one of the best gifts that this business has ever given me, and just Africa in general and sharing with people, is to see how a truck, a trip, and a time in Africa can be so life-changing for so many people. In my existing company, Satori Africa, we were dealing with luxury travel through Africa. And now with the launching of Routes Rediscovered, we are giving people the opportunity to explore more the adventure side of travel, more of the wild side of travel in Africa. And the great part about Africa is you don't need to have a big 4x4. It doesn't have to have all the bells and whistles and latest technology in it. So much so to the point where I've just completed a 15,000 kilometer trip with 100-year-old Bentleys. There was 3 1926 Bentleys, and it was the dream of these people to drive from South Cape in the Western Cape to North Cape in Norway. And we had to help plan the routing, the logistics, the accommodation. So that was an amazing experience. We've traveled through South Africa, Namibia, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Eswatini, and Lesotho so far. And it just goes to show that you can travel through Africa in whatever vehicle you have, and you quickly realize one person's bad roads is another person's dream road. You know, if we followed everyone's advice about what roads we couldn't take, which passes we weren't allowed to drive, I think we would have just stayed in Cape Town the whole time. And it was just great because you have these cars that were built 100 years ago, and they were built for roads such as this. They were gravel roads, they were farm roads. You know, there wasn't this beautiful tarmac going through the country that they could utilize. And I think there's also something to be said about traveling in an open top vehicle, because you really are exposed to all of the senses that surround you. And there was this deeper sense almost of satisfaction when you got to the end of the day. You were burnt, you were dirty, you were tired, but there was a sense of camaraderie that was built through this journey together, because you know each and every single day you've actually done something that is pretty incredible, and you definitely had the dust to show for it. I think to be part of a trip like that, where you had to think out the box, where you had to adapt how you approach the roads, the ways, the people of Africa, has been such a beautiful blessing to be a part of that. And I can't wait to see where this trip takes these guys all the way through Africa and the memories that we do create through that journey. That is mine. Traveling through Africa has changed people's lives in so many different ways, and I think people often have a preconceived idea of what Africa is about or what it is like to travel through Africa. But when people finally get into their truck and head through into Africa, I guess it comes through to what the essence of overlanding actually really is about. And normally when people come back, they say the people. The people is what has been so incredible for them, to be a part of the people of Africa, to engage with them, to have these conversations with people. And through that, it shifts their perspective of life. They get to see life through a different lens. You're sitting behind the wheel of the car, you're having to drive a certain distance, you are needing to connect with each other on a completely different level once more. And that's more than just the time behind the wheel. It's about working together to set up the camp. It's about working together to make sure that you are safe at night, that the wild animals, you have the awareness towards what is surrounding you in the evenings. And you see this dynamic change. And every time I come back from one of these trips, it's quite alarming to come back into a city environment where people are sitting at a dining room table or a restaurant together, and there's no connection. They are on their cell phones, they are distracted by a million things going on. And it makes you realize just how important travel like this is for people and to people, because they start to realize this connection with each other, this time spent together. We actually get to learn and connect and face up to each other, and also facing your own, what I call mirror time, where you are stuck with your thoughts for 8 hours as you're driving. There's no way of escaping that. You are going to be mulling over things that have happened to you over the last few days, the last few months, and it forces you to face up to that. And I think that is also one of the beautiful benefits of this change that can exist in people when they start to take on adventure travel and expedition travel through Africa. It's so easy to kind of be shut off into your little cocoon when you're overlanding in your aircon truck and the music playing and all of that, especially when we have these cars that are fully kitted out with, full power banks and water and electricity and tents and whatnot. Some of your bad habits from the city life can maybe still just linger and stay there. And I think when you actually really get to throw yourself into it, covered in dust, tired, full of grease, it just teaches you to maybe slow down even that little bit more, to get out your car, to stop, to talk a little bit more, to go walk, to feel, and just lose yourself in your environment a bit, because it becomes an incredibly enriching experience with a sense of deeper accomplishment and the space that you can disappear into to actually go back to find yourself. And I think that is just so incredibly powerful and transformative in that regard.
Thank you so much for joining us on our journey, sharing our films and following us. And if you would like to see more, please click on the link below, and we'd love you to contribute through Patreon.